Hello and welcome to Friday's Granada Reports. We are live with the news in the northwest.
Hello there. Here's what's coming up on the programme tonight.
Shot dead at the age of just 9. Tonight, why Olivia's mum says so-called grass culture must be called out.
And it's, it's about doing the right thing, not keeping quiet.
Hey! Tonight.
Accused of encouraging others to use violence in a busy seaside resort. Tonight, this man is beginning a jail sentence.
A very special lap of honour as local children join cycling hero Mark Cavendish as he returns to the Isle of Man.
It's one of the most iconic buildings in Liverpool, but could it be about to become the Hollywood of the North?
The Premier League is back with Manchester United kicking things off at home against Fulham tonight. I'll be live at Old Trafford hearing from all 4 of our North West clubs.
And the weekend is finally here, but what kind of weather can we expect? Join me later to find out.
Well, first, the mother of Olivia Pratt-Corbell, the 9-year-old girl shot dead in her Liverpool home nearly 2 years ago, is backing calls for an end to the so-called no-grass culture. Her daughter's killer was convicted after the police received information from the public.
But other cases remain unsolved. And today, on the anniversary of another high-profile murder on Merseyside, Cheryl Corbell said people need to speak up to prevent things getting worse.
Here's our Merseyside correspondent, Andy Bonner.
This is a video a friend put together whose side you're on.
In the days after Olivia Pratt-Corbell's murder, her mum knew information from the public was key.
And it's, it's about doing the right thing, not keeping quiet.
Cheryl Corbell agreed to let cameras follow the family's search for justice.
Why do you want the nation to see it from the inside?
So people understand what the police have done, and the family being involved. Sorry.
Take your time.
It's having Olivia's voice heard and seeing us as a family that, this is real life.
Every day is hard to actually get out of bed.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've got 2 other children, but waiting for me 2 other children, no disrespect to family and friends, yeah, it'll be a totally different story.
The fatal shooting of Olivia Pratt-Corbell, it's come in at just 10 o'clock last night. We have 3 injured parties. The primary victim is Olivia Pratt-Corbell, 9 years of age, with 1 gunshot wound to the chest.
Merseyside Detectives, which airs on Channel 4 on Monday, follows the emotionally charged briefing the morning after Olivia was shot dead. She was one of 3 people killed over 6 days on Merseyside. Her killer and the 4 men who murdered Ashley Dale are behind bars. But those who shot Sam Rimmer 2 years ago today remain at large.
It's good for the police to be able to get to that point where we convict people and prosecute them and ultimately get the conviction there, but it doesn't help Sam's family in relation to what's happened to Sam. People have come forward in relation to this. We have had information. It's just now we need that significant piece of evidence that's going to take this over the line.
That week for Liverpool was horrendous. Our family, Ashley's and Sam Rimmer's. And I think hopefully from the documentary, people might speak up for Sam as well.
You need to speak up. I don't know how anyone can live with the conscience of knowing something that really bad has happened. You know that the people that have done it, they need to speak up. You can't keep quiet because it's just going to carry on and it's going to get worse.
Police say the number of shootings on Merseyside has reduced, but Olivia's family want more severe sentences for people found with weapons to try to stop gun crime wrecking lives for good. Andy Bonner, ITV News.
Yeah, that documentary series next week. A man has been jailed for what prosecutors have called vile and violent conduct, attacking police and spreading fear in Blackpool in the trouble that followed the Southport stabbings.
Yes, Roger Hayward shouted abuse and attacked an officer while leading a group of men, women and children around the resort, which was busy with families on holiday. Tim Scott was at Preston Crown Court for the case and is with us now. Tim.
Yes, well, Roger Hayward was described in court today as being at the forefront of the trouble in Blackpool on Saturday the 3rd of August. He led an angry mob through the streets of the town, streets which were filled with holidaymakers and families. Footage played in court showed him confronting police dogs and encouraging other people to break through police lines. At one point, he led an attack on a security guard at the Hounshill shopping centre. The guard escaped with minor injuries, but it must have been a terrifying ordeal. And now we can show some other clips of Hayward's behaviour on that afternoon from police body cams which were shown in court today.
I promise you, there's 10 to 1. Right! We can't go there! We can't go there!
Roger, isn't it?
Yeah.
Roger, you're under arrest for a breach of the peace. You don't have to say anything that may harm your friends. Didn't mention one question, something placed for a court, and you say maybe giving evidence. Do you understand that? Good. Your arrest is necessary to prevent injury from...
Oi! Calls tonight! Calls my M tonight!
Now, regarding the violence which flared up in the afternoon of the Southport attacks, violence across the whole country, Judge Robert Altham said today that while the families of the victims and indeed the rest of the country were grieving for those who died, people like Hayward and others like him, they just used it as an excuse for criminality.
Others, such as you, decided to usurp this terrible incident as an excuse for mindless, drunken thuggery. Earlier that week, there had already been serious disorder following the events in Southport, so everyone knew that so-called demonstrations were merely pretexts for violence and expressions of hate. There was no political, no ideological basis for taking to the streets.
Now, the judge also told Hayward that when you join mob violence, you bear responsibility for what the mob does, and that law-abiding people in the country will have been bewildered at Hayward's actions. The court heard that Hayward, with 19 previous convictions, had been drinking alcohol all day before he joined in the trouble in Blackpool. His defence said he was disgusted at how he'd acted and that he'd let his family down. He pleaded guilty to assaulting 2 police officers and violent disorder, and he was sentenced to 2.5 years.
Tim, thank you.
Some of the day's other news now, and Taylor Swift is understood to have privately reached out to the families affected by the Southport stabbings. B.B. King, Elsie Stancombe and Alice De Silva Aguirre died after a knife attack at a Taylor Swift-themed event. It comes as B.B.'s family prepare to celebrate her life at a private funeral this weekend.
Queen Camilla has written to Liverpool City Region Mayor Steve Rotherham expressing her sorrow at recent events in the region, particularly the attack on the Spello Library Hub in Liverpool. The Queen also donated a box of around 70 books to help with the rebuilding of the library in Walton. A GoFundMe page to raise money for the hub has raised nearly £250,000 already.
Now, it's not something one of our MPs was expecting, to be told she needed a burner phone. But that was part of Lisa Smart's induction after she was elected MP for Hazel Grove on her 4th attempt.
She says her priorities are getting action on the state of the buildings at Stepping Hill Hospital, more work on suicide awareness and better financial education to help people budget.
Elaine Wilcox caught up with her in her Stockport constituency.
Come on, Mrs. A world away from Westminster, this is how Lisa Smart relaxes with her rescue dog, Bonnie.
What are you doing? So I got involved in politics because I used to shout at the television a lot. I shouted at the Lib Dems, but probably slightly less than I shouted at everybody else.
Hello. Hey, how are you? Thank you very much. After 4 attempts, Hazel Grove's new Lib Dem MP is the first in her family to go to university studying maths and run an international charity in the city.
I get really disgruntled, disappointed, angry when things aren't fair. So when somebody doesn't get a fair break, when somebody doesn't get a fair start. And so working in big business, I think I understand how to get stuff done.
Taking a seat from the Conservatives, she was forced to apologise while out campaigning after she was caught making a derogatory joke about Scousers.
Don't vote here anyway, voting in Liverpool. Understood, so you're just in nicking stuff while you're here.
It was something I'd said maybe 24 times, and it never occurred to me for a moment that it would upset somebody. As soon as I learned that it had upset someone, I went straight round and apologised. I do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful.
Now keen to get to work, she said it was sobering to be given a panic alarm on her first day and advice on burner phones, something most people hear about in police dramas.
When we were told if you go on holiday to certain countries, we're going to need to give you a burner phone. So if you go to China, Russia or Iran, we're going to want to help you make sure that you don't get cyber attacks and you don't get foreign operatives trying to gain access to confidential information. So that did give me pause for thought for a moment.
With a record-breaking number of MPs, the party aims to be the official opposition. So does the MP have ministerial ambitions?
I would love to see a Lib Dem Prime Minister in my lifetime, and I would love to be part of making that happen. And I'm really looking forward to getting stuff done for my community. I am ambitious for my community. Signposts for carers, excellent, that's great.
Okay. With the letters MP added hastily to her campaign office, she now wants to encourage more female MPs to join her in changing politics. Elaine Wilcox, ITV News, Romilly.
Now, anyone who's ever spent time around horses knows how calming they can be, and now they're being used to help children in the aftermath of the terrible events in Southport.
Yes, a horse therapy group is offering sessions to youngsters and their families whose lives may have been affected by what happened. They're also supporting emergency workers and their children.
Our correspondent Rob Smith met those having a fun day out after the tragedy of recent weeks.
Good girl, Holly. Say good girl. Good girl.
Leading a horse or pony takes patience, especially on an obstacle course. For the kids taking the reins in fields near Southport, it's a chance for peaceful fun after weeks filled with pain in their town and beyond.
Around?
Organisers say the animals can help to reduce stress at any age.
Horses are really quite magical in the way that they help humans. They help us co-regulate our own nervous systems so that we can be calm. So that's why a lot of people feel a calm sense and just, peace when they're with the horses. I mean, we're just doing what we can. You know, it's a very small drop in the ocean, really, of the support that needs to happen. But if we can do it, that's what we're going to do.
The centre's normal holiday timetable's being added to, with free sessions for the families and friends of those affected by the attacks. And not just children either. They want to help adults, including emergency responders.
We've had lots of messages off families, partners of emergency workers saying, you know, just being able to come here and spend some time outside, it's just meant the world to everybody. You know, it's so peaceful.
The summer break of 2024's been like no other for youngsters here. Volunteers hope this allows them to make happier memories. What's it been like as a day in the summer holiday? Because some of the days haven't been so good, have they?
No, but I do like today. It's going really good.
How good's today been?
Good. Really good.
Is it nice to be out in the sunshine?
Yeah. And we get to play here, so that's so good.
What has been the best part of today?
Probably walking the horses around the obstacle course because it was just really fun to be able to hold the horses.
A day in the fields, a day to lift the spirits, a day brighter than many of late. Rob Smith, ITV News.
Yeah, it looks like a lovely day out, doesn't it? Those horses really do have a calming nature.
And best of luck to everyone involved in that.
Yeah. Comes to sport now, and the Premier League returns this weekend with Manchester City bidding for a 5th straight title.
Yes, but it's their neighbours, Manchester United, who get the new season underway tonight. Chris Hall can join us live from Old Trafford. Chris, that off-site season didn't seem to last very long.
It flew by, didn't it? Would you believe it's now 3 months since Manchester United rounded off the domestic season by bringing the FA Cup back here to Old Trafford. Since then, we've had the Euros, of course, and even the finals of the Olympic football were less than a week ago. So we've hardly been starved of our footy fix this summer.
We know our targets. We know that we are in the right direction.
We know we have won 2 trophies, so now we have to integrate the new players.
So, what about the champions? Well, Manchester City have been unstoppable for the past 4 years, but there are a couple of external factors which threaten to throw them off their game this year, like their hearing into their 115 charges of breaking financial rules. That begins next month, and there'll be all the speculation about whether this season could be City's last under Pep Guardiola. His contract expires next summer. Meanwhile, he's been saying that the short turnaround after the Euros has been tough on his squad.
Everybody knows we are not in the best conditions, but it doesn't matter. Desire and trying to do well, and here control absolutely everything of luck and the vibes of the team, where is strong and all together doing what you have to do. I don't think there are a lot of teams that right now is in that perfect.
So City begin the defence of their title at Chelsea on Sunday, while Liverpool kick off against newly promoted Ipswich Town. A potential banana skin then for Arne Slot to step over in his first competitive match since taking charge. He believes he has a squad capable of challenging for the title.
They're in a good place at the moment. I said many times already, Jurgen left the team in a good place, and we're trying to build from there. And last season was also a season where they could win a trophy with this team. So we're hoping and aiming for the same, of course, this season. But it's not going to be easy because a lot of good and strong teams in the Premier League that also strengthen the squads.
Such a passionate fan base at times, just to, speak the truth and let them align with that. And I think there's a mixture of circumstances. But I do agree. I think, generally being up and around the people here, my pre-season games, we tried to keep them local so lots of fans could join in. And I think there is certainly a better feel and a more positive feel, generally speaking.
Getting that winning feeling. FOW, sponsors of the Granada Sport Report.
Well, moving away from football now, and Liverpool boxer Nick Ball will make the first defence of his world title in his home city. After winning the WBA featherweight title in June, he'll look to extend his unbeaten run against the American Ronnie Rios at the M&S Bank Arena on October the 5th. Well, now we head to a national celebration for a Tour de France legend. Sir Mark Cavendish today returned home to the Isle of Man for the first time since claiming his record 35th stage win at the Tour de France. And he's been speaking at his homecoming to our correspondent, Joshua Stokes.
3, 2, 1.
Setting off on home soil, cycling royalty Sir Mark Cavendish was warmly welcomed with a national celebration.
It's been wonderful. I started here 30 years ago now, and this is where I started and got the love of my bike from. So to see everybody out, it was beautiful.
Taking in the appreciation, the Manx Missile was also joined by an army of young cyclists, all riding alongside their sporting hero.
I think it's just really cool how he races what we race, because he rode around here and that's what we do. It's like you're riding around in the same place as somebody who grew up there and now become famous. It's really nice.
To have the kids riding with me was even more special, I remember what I'd have felt being able to ride with with a professional around here, and so doing that for a few laps and seeing the reception was very, very nice.
This lap is, of course, no stranger to the Manx Missile. He started his cycling journey right here on this raceway at the age of 9 years old, kick-starting his career to greatness.
Cavendish is there, and he's done it.
A career encapsulated by win
Cavendish wins in Paris
after win.
Cavendish, stop the clock!
Just last month, reaching his record-breaking 35th stage victory at the Tour de France.
But Cavendish, it's done! It's done! The story is finally complete!
A story that began with Cav's first ever coach.
I got my usual big hug. You're all right, mate. I'm very, very proud of him.
and what he's done for the island. But to see the people down here, it's been really good. I'm delighted that the crowds have come out.
But Sir Mark wasn't the only Cavendish on the course. Matching with Dad was his son, Casper.
What's it like having a dad that's a massive star?
Really good, because he's right there records.
So what do you want to do when you grow up?
Cycling.
Cycling.
A Cavendish family affair that's now come full circle, as Cav continues to lead the charge and inspire the next generation of cycling stars. Joshua Stokes, ITV News in the Isle of Man.
Yes, great to see Sir Mark back home. Great to see the fans back home at Old Trafford tonight. The start of the Premier League season, always full of excitement, because at this stage, everything is possible. Every club can dream of lifting that trophy.
Yeah, and it's all about dreaming big, isn't it, Chris? OK, mate, thanks very much. Well, next, we'll first look at one of Liverpool's most iconic buildings as it undergoes a transformation.
The Littlewoods building has been a familiar sight for decades. It's now being turned into a world-class film and TV campus to cement the city's place as what's called the Hollywood of the North.
Victoria Grimes has been for a look around.
Since 1938, it's been a beacon, a sign that you're back in Liverpool. And everyone knows someone who worked here for Littlewoods. But a huge fire in 2018 destroyed the building, then dilapidation set in. But now there's plans to bring it back to life.
So what was this part of the building used for, John?
So this was used to print the coupons for the pools every week and the catalogues for the Littlewoods company.
Those famous Littlewoods catalogues?
Those famous catalogues, and then we're going to turn it into prop and costume storage and set building workshop space for productions.
And the studios are going to be?
The studios are going to be on the land just to the east of the building over there. So there's two 20,000 square foot studios.
Wow.
Liverpool's already renowned as a place with star quality. Its whole world of locations are featured in a host of Hollywood blockbusters. It's hoped the new hub will help the city become the go-to for all aspects of film and TV production.
Liverpool already, is the most filmed city outside of London in the UK. So this is such a natural progression, and at the moment it adds 40 million a year to the economy. But when this is finished, it's scheduled to deliver 200 million a year.
What do you think? Hollywood of the North, then?
Well, why not? We've got all the people with the right skills. We've got fantastic universities and colleges and training providers. Really talented people, and a brilliant opportunity with this building to turn it into something that is really visionary.
Well, if, like thousands of others in Liverpool, you used to work here back in the day, then you'll remember this archway, the peeling green paint, and perhaps these distinctive ceiling lights. It was, of course, the hub of any workplace, the canteen. And under the new plans for this part of the building, it will remain as a place to eat and to meet. Carrying on the culinary tradition, it will become a food and drink hub, with screening rooms to watch films and live sport. At the moment, the building is without its iconic tower. It had to be dismantled for structural reasons.
Building holds a very special place in the heart of the people of the city because it employs so many people that everyone's got a family connection. In fact, my wife's grandmother used to work in the building, so even for me there's a personal connection. So this is it's a passion project far more than just my day-to-day job.
And I'm sure she'd be telling you to make sure you rebuild that tower, wouldn't she?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
The tower's going back up?
It's going back up.
The project's due to be completed in 2027. Victoria Grimes, ITV News, Liverpool.
Yeah, really exciting to think about what more films are coming to Liverpool in the years to come.
James Bond every time. Let's see what the weather has in store for us this weekend. Here's Amanda.
Have you burnt tea again?
I'm scraping the cooled oil into the bin, not the sink.
Can we eat outside? It's nice.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello again. Hope you've all had a lovely day so far. Well, if you're making plans for this weekend, all in all, the weather story not looking too bad for many of us. Now, there might just be the odd shower around at times, but for most of us, a good deal of dry weather in the forecast with some bright or sunny spells. Now, temperatures around average for the time of year, so feeling pleasantly warm in the sunshine. So next week we are expected to turn fairly unsettled. Could be quite windy for some of us later on in the week, but you can see ahead of it not much going on as we go through Saturday and Sunday. Give or take the odd shower, for most of us dry, light winds, as I say, feeling rather warm across the region too. So if you're heading out and about throughout this evening and tonight, for many it will be a fine end to the day. Bits and pieces of cloud around at times. I might just see the odd shower coming in off the Irish Sea, but for most of us it will be dry, clear skies, and those clear skies will allow it to turn fairly chilly in places too. But it does also mean for tomorrow morning a lovely bright start to the day for many, similar to today really. So the chance of the odd shower here and there, but for most of us a good deal of dry weather, bright or sunny spells, light to moderate winds coming in from a westerly direction. So temperatures not too hot tomorrow, but feeling pleasant. We're looking at highs 19 or 20 degrees, 20 is 68 in Fahrenheit. And then a similar day on Sunday again, 1 or 2 showers here and there, but for most it will be largely dry. Highs there of 19 degrees. And it is going to turn a little bit warmer as we move into Monday. You can see the winds will this time be coming in from a southerly direction. So we're expecting highs there at 21 degrees. However, some rain will be sweeping its way from west to east, and some of that could be a little bit heavy in places. I'll see you a bit later on. Bye-bye.
It's a little bit burnt.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
There we go, that last gasp hope of a bit of summer coming.
Well, it looks like a pleasant weekend, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it so far this evening. We're back after news at 10, and you can keep up to date by going to our website, of course.
Next week, how Billy rediscovered a 64-year-long love of chess and was able to reconnect with old friends.
For now, though, thanks for watching. Good night.
Bye-bye.